And welcome, everybody, to the Tech Ranch. We're broadcasting live from Charlotte, North Carolina, in the Ally Bank, or the Ally Center, right in downtown beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. Absolutely a wonderful town, our first visit here, and we've had a blast to be in here. Jim, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of envious because you're in a very nice part of the country. I mean, it's nice here too, but you're in a part of the country where it's you're a lot closer to the ocean. I know that.
Yeah, we haven't had a chance to get over there, of course, but we spent a lot of time in downtown Charlotte, and I have to tell everybody that if you ever get a chance to come here, you need to do that. The food's amazing. I think I've gained 15 pounds since I've been here.
Yes, that's Southern cuisine, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's been amazing. It really has. So Jim, have you ever done any online banking at all?
Online banking, I do a little bit. We do business with one of the local banks here in town, and just about everything we do, including paying the bills, we do online.
Sure. So have you found that it's convenient for you from the old traditional way that you used to bank?
Well, the only problem I ever have is if I forget or if I get the password wrong, or if I forget the password. And then you have to go through all that rigmarole where you have to reset the password. You have to call them when they're open to reset the password and get all sorted away again.
Exactly. But, of course, that's a good thing. You don't want to have other people, getting your passwords and that type of thing. So, anyway, sitting next to me right now is Diane Moray. She is the Ally Bank CEO and President, and I want to welcome you, Diane, to the Tech Ranch.
Thank you so much for being here and for the shout-out for Charlotte. We're excited to have you spending some time with us today.
Yeah, this is an amazing city. It really is.
It is amazing. Thank you for recognizing it.
Are you a lifelong resident?
I'm not a lifelong resident, but I've lived in Charlotte about 19 years and wouldn't be anywhere else.
So, not to get off the topic too much here, but is this a revitalization project here in downtown Charlotte, or has it always been like this?
I wouldn't say that it's a revitalization. It's more like a vitalization.
Okay.
And as companies have come to Charlotte and grown, this whole center city area, we kind of call it uptown here as locals, has just continued to grow and expand. And so as you can see, there's just a ton of activity and people, and it's a great place to live. A lot more people live downtown now than they used to.
And, of course, you've obviously bought into it as a company as well because you're right in the heart of the city here.
We have. So we moved into this building, Ally Center, in December of 2009, and our board and CEO at the time thought it was really important that we be present in the core center where all of the commerce happens in Charlotte. So,
of course, we're here today because it is Online Bank Day.
Yes, indeed.
I find it interesting that we're doing this on Columbus Day, which is actually a federal holiday, but there's a reason for that, isn't there?
There is a reason, and we thought no more fitting day than a day when typical banks are closed for us to declare today National Online Bank Day. And as an online bank, Ally is open 24/7.
Right, and that's absolutely wonderful. And the other reason that we're here today is that you have surpassed a major milestone. Why don't you explain to people what that is?
I would love to. Thank you. So about a month ago, Ally celebrated our 1 millionth customer. And that is significant because when we started this business back in 2009, we had less than 100,000 customers and about $3 billion in overall deposits for Ally Bank. And in 7 short years, we've grown that to a million consumers choosing to bank with Ally, and over $53 billion in deposits. So the growth has just been phenomenal.
So are you surprised by the fact that you have 1 million customers already?
In a way, probably. I think that we knew when we started this deposit business for Ally Bank that we built everything we do around the customer, and that was purposeful because we knew at the time, back in 2009, there were a lot of angry consumers mad at their bank.
Sure.
And so we really created everything from almost a blank sheet of paper with a customer in the center, and it has resonated with consumers over time. And so we see consistent high loyalty scores from customers, and our biggest measure of people referring friends and family to Ally we take as a huge compliment. So we've consistently grown the business. So, yeah, I think we probably are a little surprised that it happened so quickly, but we're really just getting started.
And I think a lot of it is to do with maybe some of the additional perks and things that you have, and we're going to get into that a little bit later in the show. We have some of your associates that are going to be joining me to talk about the technology side of things with that and some very, very cool tools that I just can't wait to get to, by the way. Not to push you away from the microphone, but I'm waiting for that, I'll tell you.
The better people are yet to come.
Well, of course, my screen just goes blank here. So the one thing I find interesting, too, is that you offer better interest rates than most traditional banks. Why is that?
Well, very simply because we don't have physical branches or brick-and-mortar locations. Because of the cost savings that we get by not needing to have, physical buildings in place, we can actually turn some of those dollars back into consumers' hands in the form of better interest rates. And one of our core philosophies is to be consistently competitive. So you'll never see Ally really jumping around and trying to, attract customers with a high rate today and bait and switch them. We just try to be consistently competitive every day, and that is something that consumers really appreciate.
So I'm going to guess that you have some people who've moved large sums of money to you because you have those higher interest rates. But because of the technology side, do you see like the millennials grabbing onto that, and that's their preferred choice for banking now?
We see both. It's actually a great question and observation. So a lot of our older, more affluent consumers really appreciate the higher interest rates because they're in their retirement or pre-retirement stages and they're living off their interest income. What we also see, though, is just this general trend for consumer demographics where the younger demographic, the millennials, 18 to 31, they couldn't dream of going to stand in line at a branch to cash a check. And so we see really, we appeal across all consumer demographic segments, and we've got a great mix across the whole spectrum.
So do you see the older consumer adapting to technology here, or are those the ones that still kind of mail their deposits into you?
So we absolutely see consumer behavior changing very rapidly. I think we see it in all aspects of our lives. And a fun statistic is that the average online consumer has at least 3 devices, right? They have a desktop, a phone, a tablet, and they're using all of those interchangeably. And so what we're seeing with consumers is as people get more comfortable interacting digitally and interacting across devices, older consumers are coming up the curve and getting just as comfortable. Probably when we first started back in 2009, we would have called those consumers who were comfortable banking online as early adopters or more digitally savvy consumers. And I always use my father as an example where
Sure.
I would not put him in the digitally savvy category, but even he now is getting comfortable doing banking online. So that shift in consumer behavior and the adoption of digital commerce has just exploded, and we're really well positioned to take advantage of that.
And I think one of the things, too, is, you'd mentioned to it earlier about, driving to the bank and making that deposit. You think about the green aspect of online banking. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, it is a very green offering because consumers can do almost everything they want to do virtually. And so, for example, instead of needing to get a statement mailed to them, consumers can sign up for online statements. If you've got a check from, your insurance company and wanted to deposit into your Ally Bank account, instead of either going to the bank and having somebody process that with paper, all you have to do is take out your phone, take a picture, send it, virtually, and it's deposited into your account. So we've taken a lot of paper out of the system, and quite frankly, that's safer for consumers because a lot of the information that might be associated on paper would be something they don't want a bad guy to pick up in the trash can.
Well, Di, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Jim, I guess I'm not hearing any cue music here, so we're just going to go to break. Next up, we'll have Dave Vasquez, and we'll be talking about the consumer experience with online banking. Again, really a pleasure having you on, Di.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Currently is 48.
Super Talk 1270. Listen to high school sports action and live Bobcats hockey online at supertalk1270.com.
Follow the Guru of Geek at facebook.com/The Tech Ranch or Twitter at Guru of Geek or thetechranch.com. Here again is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we want to thank all of our listeners across the country and around the world who follow us on the Blueberry Network, on the Tech Podcast Network if it's Techeteer. We're also on the Roku, Apple TV, Tuned In, and, of course, our own app, Radio Pup. And we are broadcasting live from Charlotte, North Carolina, beautiful downtown Charlotte, North Carolina, in the Ally Center, of course, where Ally Bank is located. They just surpassed 1 million customers online, which I think is a major milestone. And joining me is Dave Vasquez. He is the Integrated Channel and Experience Executive. Thanks for joining me, Dave.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Pleasure to be here today.
You bet. And let's talk a little bit about the customer experience side of what you do.
Well, Di was mentioning how, as an online bank, customers are very comfortable going online, transacting online, but we also have a lot of customers that the more information we show online, they have more questions. We kind of open up that window a little bit to some of the transactions. So having a live assistant available for customers is real important. And we want to make sure that as customers are going online, they're having a certain experience with Ally. It's important that when they call us or they go for mobile apps, that same experience transcends. So the words we use, the experience that they have, the straightforwardness, all that's important when we go channel to channel.
So one of the things that I always see about banking is it's about relationship building, okay? And, in our neck of the woods, for example, we've had a lot of banks pop up recently due to the energy, that's going on, our development in our area. And you see bank presidents walking up and down Main Street or whatever, introducing themselves and that type of thing, trying to build those relationships. You have a little bit of a different approach, but it's still about relationship building, isn't it?
It really is. And I think, if you think about how customers want to interact with us, we're not smart enough to understand every channel. So sometimes they want to go online, sometimes they want to call us, sometimes they want to email us. And, and our approach has really been to open up all the channels to our customers and how they want to engage with us. And the majority of customers do come online, but from the call center standpoint, the relationship is really making it a human experience. And so we don't goal our associates on operational metrics like handle time or how many calls did you take this hour. It's all about, did you make a relationship, a connection with the customer? And so whether we're opening a new account, we're answering questions, or quite honestly, we're having a conversation. Sometimes the best answer is we don't have an account for you, Mr. Customer, and you should go to some other place to get that experience fulfilled. It's being true and it's being honest. But I think in our approach, it's really been taking the time with customers to understand what their needs are, being available for them 24/7. We can have the same conversation at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday that we can have at 3 in the morning on a Friday. It's the same trained associates. So really, whenever the customer is ready to have that conversation with us, we want to be available for them.
So I have a yes or no slate of questions for you. Okay, today's Columbus Day. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Getting used to this. Okay. So can I open an account today?
Yes, you can.
Can I open an account in a brick and mortar today?
No, you cannot.
Can I transfer monies today?
Yes, you can.
Could I send some money to my wife today?
Yes, you can.
Can I call you to find out a great recipe for tea?
Yes, you can. In fact, we've had customers ask us when they hear our Southern drawl, they'll ask us for sweet tea recipes, and we're more than happy to oblige.
And, of course, what I'm getting to here, of course, is that you're open today.
We are. The Internet never sleeps, so we can. Whenever our customers want to do business with us, we need to be available for them, and I think that's one of the inherent advantages of an online bank.
And, of course, in our 24/7 world that we live in now, I mean, I think it is important that you have that access because you never know. I mean, we're a very mobile society and becoming more mobile all the time.
That's right.
And I don't mean with devices. I mean that, the person that was Andrea. I knew I was going to do that, Andrea. I just embarrassed her here in the lobby. That's great, yes. She said I can't call her Andrea, of course. So, yeah. But anyway, she had stated, now I lost my train of thought, too. So,
I do think that online security and awareness is important for all consumers, right?
Right.
And I think, it's something that at Ally we don't take lightly, and consumers shouldn't. Whether it's your credit card, it's your cable experience, or it's your banking experience, there's a shared kind of culpability or responsibility that we have as consumers to do business online in a smart way. And then as a bank, as a service provider, we should be giving you educational tools and electronic tools to do that as well. So at Ally, we use things like multi-factor authentication, which is, I'm going to ask you a question that only you should have the answer
right.
for, or I'm going to send you an access code to a device that you've registered for us. But we're also out monitoring in the Internet. We're looking for phishing sites and malware and apps that are getting put out there which could actually harm our banking customers. And we also offer WebRoot, WebRoot Secure Anywhere, which is a free service for our customers. So if you're an Ally Bank customer, you can download this to help protect yourself. And it's not just for a limited time. As long as you're an Ally customer, it's free for you. And it's for however many devices you're connecting to the internet, because we really want you to be protected. But whether you bank with Ally or whomever you bank with, I think your listeners really should continue to look for ways that they can protect themselves. So go to your bank's security site and look for tips and tools on how you can protect yourself. Things like check your transactions, look at your statements. Look at sign up for alerts if your bank offers it. So as soon as transactions occur, you're going to get notified of that. And by all means, if you see something that's suspicious, call your bank. And as you said, if you happen to be an Ally customer, you could call us 24/7.
Right.
And that's, again, but it's important that you're out looking for it as well.
And this is very, very practical advice that you're giving here for wherever you bank at. So on the security side of things, I have noticed mostly, and of course there's been some high-level things that have happened in the past, not with banking so much as it's been with credit card processing, like through the Target thing. And it actually wasn't even their fault. It was their processor's issue there. But there's a lot of things that on the personal level you can do to protect yourself, and that's probably the most important thing you do, because you're on the commercial side doing what you can protect your customers.
That's right. No, you're exactly right. And sometimes it's some of the biggest fraud actually occurs in the four walls of your family.
That's correct.
And so protecting yourselves with your friends, with your loved ones, using different usernames, using different passwords. So many times breaches occur in some other industry or some other site, and as consumers, we use the same login credentials across dozens of sites.
Well, the number one password is password.
That's exactly
Isn't
right.
that something?
Or 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, I'm guessing that if we were to log into Ally, you probably won't even allow us to use the word password as your password.
Yeah, we have a lot of things that hopefully we're going to help customers protect themselves.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, absolutely fabulous. So, anything else that you want to discuss that you can think of?
No, I think, at the end of the day, it's important that customers understand that call centers and the service experience need to go hand in hand with the web experience. And so many customers, as Di mentioned, start online and then they end up navigating offline because they just want to have a human connection.
Right.
They want to make sure their questions are getting answered. And right before they hit send, I just want to hear somebody say it. And so it's important as customers have the opportunity to really experience the full brand, both online as well as the offline experience.
So Andre and I, we were talking yesterday about, we traveled here, and I don't think between the two of us we had $50 on us. That's not unusual anymore, is it?
No, it's not. Well, I have 3 teenage sons, so I can definitely attest to that.
So, and I guess the point I'm getting to is that more and more people are feeling secure about the ability to be mobile and use the tools that they have. And, of course, online banking in general offers some of those.
They really do. The convenience factor certainly comes into play. And Ally also will guarantee that transaction. So, we try to make sure not only give customers the tools to protect themselves, but we're willing to stand behind it, and we're going to guarantee those transactions for customers. Just let us know if you're having a problem. But I think that security goes a long way in giving customers peace of mind. But I think you said earlier, we are becoming a very mobile community. Whether most of searches now begin on a mobile device as opposed to the desktop. And if you just think about where that device is going, they're getting smaller. They're certainly getting more convenient, and not just on the device itself, but you think about the Internet of Things on cars and other things that we're really seeing that convergence of the online experience into our everyday lives.
All right, Dave, again, a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for being here.
Again, for, and inviting us to be here as well.
We appreciate you being here. Thank you.
All right, Jim, let's wander off to a break here. And after the break, everybody, we will continue our conversation here in the Ally Center. We have Carrie Sumlin coming up, the Digital Deposits Executive, and we're going to spend a lot of time on security and all the cool apps that they have that'll bring your banking experience to a much newer level. So come on back.
Currently, it's 48.
On the web, on the go, everywhere. SuperTalk1270.com.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at SuperTalk1270.com. Here is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
Again, we're at the Ally Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, beautiful downtown. Weather is absolutely gorgeous here today. And if you ever get a chance to come down, you have to do that. I'm sitting next to Carrie Sumlin. Carrie is the Digital Deposits Executive here at Ally Bank. And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So we're going to get right into this. I've been excited to talk to you for a month already.
Wow.
So I want to start with the different things that you can do with online banking.
Sure.
And Andre always keeps talking about Pop Money, right. And I haven't asked her what this is yet because I don't know what it is actually personally.
Pop Money. Okay.
So yeah, she's been talking to me like I'm supposed to know what this is, right? Because she uses it all the time, and I have no clue.
Well,
so what is Pop Money?
She needs to send you some money,
I
and
think
then
so,
you can
yeah.
experience it.
$1 million would be okay. I'd be fine with that. Yeah.
So Pop Money allows Ally Bank customers to send money to anybody they want with just their email address and cell phone number. So if I owe you $50 which I do,
yeah.
or $1 million, right? For dinner last night, instead of having to get cash and hassle with all that cash, all I have to do is log into mobile banking or to online banking, enter your name and email address and your phone number, enter how much I want to send you. You'll get either an email or a text that'll tell you how to go deposit that money, and you'll go to popmoney.com and you'll just say which bank you want that money to be deposited at. It's super fast and super simple, and it really adds to the convenience of, working and dealing with an online bank.
So do you see businesses using this as well?
Some small businesses do use Pop Money. Pop Money is a software that's provided by a bank software company, and they use it for things like, invoicing and asking for money from people and customers. But we see a lot of our consumers adopting it, not just for small payments like, hey, we went out to dinner and I owe you some money, but also for things like rent, or shared utility bills or really kind of bigger transactions that are part of people's day-to-day lives.
Very cool. All right. And then the scanning checks.
Yes, the remote deposit capture.
So how quickly has this been adapted by your customers?
It's been huge. We get over 85% of all checks that are deposited to us are coming through remote deposit capture, and most of them are coming through the mobile phone.
So I'm just going to have you back up just a little bit here because there's probably a lot of people listening that have no idea what we're talking about right now. So how does this work? I mean, I get a check. I get my paycheck.
Okay.
Do I have to go to the bank to deposit this? How does this work?
The bank. It's super awesome and it's super fast. You just log into online banking or log into mobile banking, and you go to deposit a check. You just push a button to do that. Then you take a picture of the front of the check, and then you take a picture of the back of the check that you signed your name and for deposit only. You enter how much that check is for, and we accept that. We send you an email letting you know we've got that, and then it's deposited into your account. It's really easy and really fast. That's it.
And I can just shred the check on my side when I'm done.
You can. You can also, if for some reason you still had a flip phone or maybe you're not a mobile phone kind of person and you have a scanner, you can just log in from your computer at home with your scanner and scan the front and scan the back. So super fast.
So either with the desktop or laptop or your mobile device.
Exactly.
Android and
iPhone
as well.
and Kindle, tablet.
Okay.
So,
really?
Yes. We have 7 downloadable apps. We support iOS phone and iPad. We also support Android phone, Android tablet, Kindle, and we also have we now have an Apple Watch ATM locator. So we try to be everywhere. We also have a Win8 application for people who love their Windows devices. We provided that as well.
Sure. So let's talk about the Apple Watch.
Okay.
Is that fairly new for you?
It is.
Well, obviously, since Apple Watch is brand new.
Yes.
So I can have, if I have my Apple Watch on,
so the Apple Watch,
where
we can help you find the closest place that you can get cash. So one of the concerns that some users may have with using an online bank is how to get access to cash. So we've tried to solve that through our ATM locator. So we have an ATM locator that's accessible at your computer. It's accessible on your mobile app and mobile phone, and now it's accessible through the watch. And so the really cool thing and differentiator on this ATM locator is it doesn't tell you just where ATMs are. It
also tells you where cashback locations are. So you may be in a place that doesn't have a lot of ATMs. You might not be in downtown Charlotte, but you may be near a drugstore or a grocery store, and most of those companies now offer cash back. You go in to buy, a pack of gum, you can get $20 back or $50 back, and really a more kind of convenient way for people to get cash. So we highlight all of those point-of-sale cashback locations in the United States, and we also highlight the Allpoint ATM network, which is a network that our customers can use without any sort of surcharge or fee.
Great.
And so the cool thing about the locator is that you don't even have to be a customer of Ally to use it. We have a standalone locator that you can download to your phone. So you could do this, later today and take a look at where in downtown Charlotte you can get that cash back to, do whatever you want to do for the rest of the day.
Now, in the next segment, we're going to talk a little bit about security.
Okay.
But tell me about this Siri type of experience that you have with Ally.
Okay. So on our iPhone app, we launched in May a tool that we call Ally Assist. And so Ally Assist lets you log into your mobile phone app and ask a question just like Siri. So you can either type or text to it and say, I want to know any question you have about either your account, your spending, transactions, any information that you need to know about your account. The other really neat thing about it is that it's predictive in nature. So when you log in, it knows the transactions that you've done because you've logged in and you've authenticated. So it says you might be logging in to ask about this recent Pop Money transaction or this recent transfer or, hey, I see something that looks like a duplicate transaction. Take a look at that. So it calls your attention to things that perhaps you're not even thinking about, or perhaps it's something as why you've, went to Ally Assist and what you're actually looking for.
And like you said, it's predictive as well. So if you are leaving money in a regular savings account, it'll tell you that if you'd have moved that $1,000 or $5,000 over to your CD because you've been leaving it sit there for 2 years in your regular savings, it'll make those assumptions for you, right?
Yeah, it
could. Suggestions, I should say.
The other thing that it does that's unique is that it provides really analytics that you as a consumer can drive. So, for example, if you want to know how much you spent on groceries last month or how much you earned in interest last year, you can just ask that question and it'll calculate it for you and you'll have that answer and you'll be able to do something with it.
And it's quick.
It's very fast.
Andre did this last night. She said how much I spent on groceries last month and just boom, 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 it was there.
Did she spend a lot on groceries?
It wasn't so bad.
Okay.
So she spent more on us last night,
Did
actually.
she?
Yeah. And the other thing that it brought up, you were talking about duplicate transactions. She had one in there, too, that a company had charged her twice for the same thing and now has the ability to go back and maybe get one of those taken back off. So, yeah. So I think it's a fantastic tool and something that anybody can use.
Anyone.
You don't have to be a millennial to do this stuff.
That's right.
As long as you have a smart device that you can do this. So, and one of the things that I like to talk a lot about is that, it costs more to have smart devices.
Right.
So we look for ways that offset those costs a little bit.
Yeah.
And online banking is one of those, in my opinion, because you're not driving down to a brick and mortar. You can scan, So if you're spending $20 a month to have that smart device, I could literally go to the bank every day, personally.
Right.
And our bank is probably 3 or 4 miles away, and it takes me a half hour to get there and back and all this other stuff.
And wait in line.
And, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Whether it's in the drive-thru or whatever. You take that's 10 hours a month that I'm talking about right here. And if I spend $20 more, I can have those 10 hours back.
Absolutely.
That's just what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
And, and of course, the cost of fuel and everything else. So I love the tools that you guys are developing. So, all right. And I'm going to look at time. Oh, we're not even to break yet. Unbelievable. Okay.
Okay.
So what else you got on your list here that you need to share with me today?
Yeah, sure. So, one of the really great things about the digital experience that we've created at Ally is we really want customers to understand, the products and services that we offer and how they compare to other products and services in the market. So you can come to our website and understand, to the point that you and I were talking about earlier, how much more interest you could earn with a deposit at Ally versus another bank. And it'll calculate that for you based on the actual rates that those other financial institutions are offering. We have a sampling of those The other thing that we have on our site that's really interesting and helpful for customers who are considering making the move into online banking is a ratings and reviews tool. So you can learn about how other people who made the leap from not being an online banking customer to being an online banking customer, how they experienced it, what they thought of that, what's worked for them, and why they made that change, and how it's impacted their life to have online banking products with Ally. So I think that's something that is really helpful to people who aren't sure about online banking. They want to learn more about it. Both of those things help a lot. The other thing I would add is that a lot of people who haven't banked online before don't know that you can actually open your account online end to end. So you just tell us a little bit about you, what products you want, and how you want to fund the account. Your account can be opened right there in less than 10 minutes. So it's a pretty simple process once you decide you want to become part of the online banking community.
Right. And, of course, I'm not trying to turn this into, a 1-hour commercial for Ally here, but I think I wanted to get down to how you got to 1 million customers in less than 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an amazing milestone, in my opinion. And I'm just trying to figure out, if is it the tools that you offer? Is it the interest? I mean, is it a little bit of everything?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think it's making that learning curve for consumers about why they'd want to do it, whether it's Ally or another online bank, what the interest rate differences are, and then to the conversation we had earlier, just the convenience of not needing to go to your banking center or to your branch in order to complete all of the transactions you would traditionally think about needing to complete with a bank.
All right, Carrie, after the break, everybody, we'll continue our conversation with Carrie, and we're really going to get into security now and how you can protect yourself while you're doing some online banking. So come on back, everybody.
Currently, it's 50.
Wherever you are, SuperTalk 1270 is there at supertalk1270.com. The Radio Pulp app, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. SuperTalk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we're back in the Ally Center here in downtown Charlotte, North Carolina, and we are in the lobby here, so you might even hear a little bit of an echo going on. We're here because it's National Online Bank Day, and the reason it's on National Online Bank Day is because Ally Bank has just surpassed 1 million customers, which is quite a milestone in the online banking industry. And sitting next to me is Carrie Sumlin. Carrie is the Digital Deposits Executive and with Ally Bank, and we're probably going to scare people a little bit now, Carrie. It is getting close to Halloween anyway, so and not so much from the online banking perspective, but maybe about what a person can do to protect themselves on the security side of it. I know Dave and I got into this a little bit ago, but I think it's so important because I think the number one fear that people have about doing business online is the ability to have that information stolen or whatever. Now, of course, that happens in every world, and probably more often. I mean, you can bump me on the head if you want and take the $50 I have on me, if you want. So that happens a lot, of course.
Right.
But and just like you would lock your door at your house so that stuff doesn't get stolen from your house, there's ways that you can lock your computer and help yourself a little bit with identity theft and those type of things as well. So let's get into that a little bit. So if the first thing is that the protocols that the bank goes through to be secure. I know you can't divulge a lot of this stuff, but there are some pretty stringent protocols that the bank goes through, correct?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we use HTTPS, which is basically a secure communication channel between our systems and your computer's browsers, and that's something that happens throughout the industry, and not just in financial services, but in other industries as well. And one of the things that consumers can do is they can look for the what are called extended verification certificates. So customers can look in their address bar where you would type Google.com or Ally.com and see the color of that change to green, and that means that certificate for that website has been verified by a third party. So that's something that you can always look for to see if it's a website that you should be trusting as you enter your personal information or your credit card information.
And this is a great thing because a lot of times I will get a warning on my computer screen when I'm browsing that the certificate is expired, or like you said, it shows red across the top. And when it shows red, that means that it's probably a site that shouldn't be trusted.
Exactly.
One of the things would be that it might be okay to browse that site, but you certainly don't want to be putting any information into that site because it's liable to be stolen.
Right, and I would say you'd also want to maybe even limit your interaction on that site. So you'd want to be careful not to click on something that would potentially download something to your computer that you're not intending to download to your computer.
And one of those things, like saying, would scare people a little bit, would be a keylogger type of situation. Are you familiar with keyloggers?
Yes.
All right. So why don't you explain to people what a keylogger is?
Sure. So a keylogger tracks the strokes that you're making on your keyboard to essentially intercept and interpret whatever you're typing in, whether that's your username, your password, your whatever information you're typing.
And this would be one of the malicious programs that could be downloaded if you're not on a secured website.
Right.
And I know these are probably uncomfortable things for you to talk about right now because you want to make sure that people are thinking that it's secure. But I also feel that you guys are very transparent about this stuff, and I think it's important that customers can do things to protect themselves from any online experience. Because the thing is that you could be on a malicious site and get one of these things and then move to a site that's okay, but now they have that malicious software on their computer.
Right.
So you really have to be careful when it comes to those things. And wonderful that you offer WebRoot.
That's right.
I think,
Secure Anywhere.
Yes.
From
so
WebRoot,
why don't you talk a little bit about how important that is?
Yeah, so Secure Anywhere is a product from WebRoot that allows our bank customers to get this software for free. And this software will go out and scan not just for viruses on your computer, but also malware. So when you talk about keystroke logging and those types of malicious things, it looks for and identifies potential malware that's on your computer, and that helps you to remove and clean those from your computer to make sure that you're having a safe browsing experience, whether you're using our online banking system or you're shopping on a retail website.
And, of course, if you accidentally click on something, if WebRoot recognizes that it's malicious software, it'll actually pop up and state, do you really want to do this?
Right.
And then it at least gives you one more layer to stop maybe from downloading something. And, of course, it'll let you know that. And a great example is while we've been here, the hotel that we were staying at has an open Wi-Fi.
Right.
And our virus protection wouldn't even allow us to go on it simply because they knew, or my computer picked up on the fact that it was possibly malicious or that there could be some activity that I didn't approve of, so just don't allow me to do that. So.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think the thing that's important is that, for us, security is a partnership with our customers, right? And so people need to be aware in their personal lives of what's happening and where their information is going, whether they're banking online or not banking online. But we have, the WebRoot that we talked about. We also have an online and mobile banking security guarantee. So if something does happen, we are able to protect our customers who, look at their statements and look for transactions that they didn't authorize. We stand behind those and make those right for our customers. So we do encourage customers, though, to use safe practices in their everyday life, whether that's not jailbreaking your phone or not writing your passwords down or using the same password on every site that you use, regardless of whether you're ordering your kid's yearbook or doing your online banking.
Right.
It's just really thinking through the implications of how you use your data and your information and where it is and making sure that you're using, as a consumer, good practices across all of those.
And I think it's fantastic that you as a company do this, that you're showing people how to use safe practices online because it does. It transcends across everything. And, of course, a bad experience in another industry, I mean, when you think about relationship building and building customers, that relationship over here means that, maybe I don't want to do this online anymore. So it's important that people understand why they need to have these safe practices in place.
Right.
And at the same time, you kind of outweigh that with the customer service aspect of it and all the good that comes out of this. So take the extra time and a little bit about those safe practices, and you'll do great. So Okay, we're going to wrap things up here. We got a couple minutes left, so let's just go through again. Now that we've scared everybody, we're going to go on the other side again. So let's talk about these wonderful, wonderful apps. And Andre, are you wanting to get on for a second too? She's saying no. What was that? Oh, yeah. Hi, come on back over here. Yeah. So we're going to make the quick transition here, everybody. Di is back on with us. So we really appreciate the invite here again, Di. And I know, we got on a little tech side there a little bit, and I hope that's okay. But any last-minute thoughts that you want to share with the listeners?
Well, we appreciate you being here, taking an interest in Ally Bank, and celebrating National Online Banking Day with us. It's a huge step forward, I think, for our company as we continue to go beyond our millionth customer. And I think it was a great conversation for your listeners to really learn more about the benefits of banking online and why they should be comfortable with it.
So do you have a goal for the next million now?
Well, I do, but I can't tell you. So
I'm going to guess you're going to get there a lot quicker.
I think we'll get there a lot more quickly.
Yeah.
And again, word is catching on, and consumers try it, they love it, and they bring their friends and family.
I love all the apps. I got to tell you, it really is, and the Assist app that you have developed is fantastic.
Thank you.
I just, to be able to grab that information so quickly and just speak to your device.
Right, and that's part of the strategy. Customers want to be able to bank on the device they use and when and where they're ready, and on their terms, and that's what Ally Bank is all about, making it all about the customer.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a couple minutes left.
Okay.
So anything else that you maybe want to share?
Well, there's a lot of good stuff underway at Ally Bank, and we're continuing to talk to our customers and understand what else they want us to be potentially building for them.
Okay.
And so you'll see us continue to push on mobile development, and that's, again, everything we've talked about for the last hour. That's where the world is moving, and so Ally Bank will be there. And we're also looking at, what other products and services could we offer and deliver them in, what we like to say, an Ally way that's going to be really better for the consumer at the end of the day.
So, since you're growing, are you hiring?
We are.
Okay.
We are not hiring, tons and tons of people, but we've been slowly continuing to expand our operations. And get the right talent to, as we talked in the beginning of the discussion today, from where we started, in 2009 to now, we've come a long way, and we've needed to make sure that we had all the right talent to really deliver for our customers, and we're selectively continuing to add people where we need them.
So if you're a parent, with some high school students or whatever, is this an industry that you would encourage them to go in? I mean, do you think that this is going to be something that continues to expand as we move forward?
Banking is a great industry, and certainly, anything that is digital savvy and digital leading is where I think there are going to be great career opportunities for people. So many of us here at Ally have spent our career in banking in different banks. And we think the combination of everything you learn, the value you can bring to customers, and now being able to do it in a way that is certainly futuristic and where the world is headed makes it really fun to come to work for our people every day.
Sure. And Diane, again, a pleasure having you on. Diane Moray with Ally Bank. She's the CEO and president, and we really appreciate having us here. And everybody, we'll see you again next week.
Thank you.